Hello, everyone, and welcome to a long overdue episode of the Gundam Roundtable, where, of course, I am Myron Castron. I am the host around here, and I'd like to sometimes talk about some big robots. And wouldn't you know it, we're here to do just that. But we're going to be talking a little bit of Gundam today. But of course, I can't sit here and do this all by myself. I mean, I could, but I figured I'd just go rope in one of the usual suspects. So, how's it going, Fenrir?
Doing great, and I'd like to send my hellos to all the Padawans, Jedis, and Siths out there. Hell, even the Mandos. I wish you a very good Christmas time.
Oh,
Hope
so
you're great. Hope you got your princess, and hope you didn't fall into a pit of lava. That's the best way to go.
so you were watching the holiday special.
Hmm?
So you were watching the holiday special. You got that on the mind.
Okay, maybe. I'm not saying I didn't. I'm also not saying that I did. Just maybe.
You know, it's not too bad if you get past the bad part. It's an all right thing.
Yeah. Seriously, what were they thinking back then?
All the drugs. And hey, the
Is it
you know
wrong of
those.
me to think? Is it wrong of me to love the times when Hollywood did more drugs than anything else?
Oh, it was one of the best things of the time. You would get
Yeah,
you would get crazy nonsense.
yeah, those were the fun times. Okay,
Like
but we're not here to talk about Star Wars. We're here to talk about giant robots and Kai getting a bit of development somehow.
I know, I couldn't believe it either.
I guess
Although,
even
by
Dick
the way,
can change.
although I should say for forewarning, breaking news: Kai is still up shit.
Yeah.
Breaking news! Breaking news! I'm get what's this? I've got something. Oh, Kai's still a shit. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, you gave him development, but you can't change who he is completely.
We'll
Piece of
tune in
shit.
later. We'll get an update later in the episode to see if that's still the case.
Uh, okay, then let's.
Let's
Should
get
we wait
things
for the?
started. Gundam fight all set. Ready? Go!
All right, then let's go straight to this.
So, we of course sat down and watched through the next episode of Gundam, A Spy on Board.
Seriously, when
Episode
reading this title, I think about James Bond for some reason.
right, and I mean you got to figure it's probably around that same. Let's see, this was 79. James Bond had just done Thunderball, I want to say. So that would have been the big movie around the big James Bond movie at that time.
Huh.
But so for this episode, we are covering number 27, A Spy on Board, where we'll go through the episode and give a little bit of a breakdown, details over the episode. So
Let's go.
one of the things I thought was kind of interesting starting this one out is it jumps straight into Amuro doing a presentation about the Gundam and the G fighter and all the compatibility. You know, it's one of those things you don't get to see too much of actual like meeting time. Here's the updates, which makes for I think some pretty good exposition.
Yeah, showing us the possibilities for each one of the Gundams, what they can do, how they mix. It's good. They're giving us these details.
Yep. I mean, there's like what 3 or 4 modes, but I can never remember them all. Like I know the G fighter and the G bull, but for all intents and purposes, it's the G fighter with parts mixed.
When I saw
It's
this, I couldn't stop thinking about Mazinger. You ever seen that? Is this other Japanese anime about a giant robot?
Mazinger's like I know of Mazinger Z, and it's
Yes,
definitely on my
that's
list.
one of
I
the
want to get to next. I think there's a few
that's one of the
series
installations.
there,
Yeah, that's the only installation of this show I've seen.
Hmm. Well, you're most of the expert on that one than I am. But I mean, you look at this and you realize with how many layers there are to the Gundam, it's kind of a Russian nesting doll of mechanical bits.
Yeah.
Because you have the core fighter inside the Gundam, inside the G fighter or the G bull. So there's like 3 layers of mechanics and 2 pilots.
Yeah, 1 rope, 2 pilots. Wait, but then who takes absolute control? I mean,
Well, I mean,
is it Amuro or me?
I imagine that Sayla would probably do the primary piloting, and then that gives Amuro a chance to focus more on the heavy weapons, the heavy bombardment.
Makes sense.
So while Amuro is going through and giving this presentation to talk about this, which hey, we see that coming up. He's giving Sayla some. They're kind of going back and forth. It's very much some kind of genuine, good kind of human interaction between them.
Yeah, seems great. No, I know still it's fun. But seriously, when is her brother gonna show up? I want to see the Red Baron in action.
Oh, he's coming. Although,
It's like this huge amount of filler. I mean, he shows up and does almost nothing.
All right.
Hey, Chris showed up.
Hey, Chris.
Hold on a second. There we go. I can now hear.
Long time no see.
How's it going?
Hello.
Are the Christmas times doing any good for you?
They've been busy.
Well, of course, it's one of the most busy times of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. So
that's why I do everything in advance.
Yeah, well, I'm the one that takes care of all those advances for everyone else.
And thank you very much.
So we're talking about how Kai miraculously got some form of development.
Oh, I think that's later in the episode.
Yeah. But this is kind of that start of the Kai stuff. I mean, we're kind of starting out. Amuro is Amuro's apparently running the meeting and going over how the G fighter can combine with the Gundam for everyone.
The G fighter, G armor, G Sky Easy, G Bull. Yeah.
So, this is why I'm so happy you're here, because
you memorized every single one. Ironcaster can barely remember 2.
Yeah, I choose to believe you had those like tattooed on the inside of your eyelids so you can remember all the modes.
Yeah, I mean, when you kind of when it's a big part of your life, then you kind of memorize it.
I mean, I memorize every single card on Yugimoto's deck, so I think I can feel you there.
You know what? You don't need to memorize it all. You just need the heart of the cards.
Yeah.
Again, I say all of that is just cheating. I mean, he knows he's going to get the right card at the right time. It's cheating. Every main character of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has cheated.
And then there's also the Gundam Sky mode, which is basically the Gundam with the back half of the G fighter attached to it.
So like that?
Yeah, but then picture the upper part of the Gundam's body.
You know, just before you were coming on, I was saying it's kind of a Russian nesting doll of mechanics. The core fighter in the Gundam, in the G fighter.
No, it's the
Hey,
pilot.
Chris, I think there's something wrong with your image there.
No, it's actually the pilot within the core fighter, within the Gundam, within the G armor.
So your brain is inside of a fleshy meat mech suit that's inside of a bigger machine that pilots a bigger machine that is part of a bigger plane.
Yeah.
Biomechs. I like it.
And in a sense, this is actually the G Sky Easy is actually kind of a precursor to what the movie would introduce, which is the G booster. This core booster, I should say.
So, while Amuro is nerding out, while Amuro and Chris are nerding out, Kai decides to go step away and angst. Because if Amuro can get 8 episodes of this, he can get 2.
Well, Amuro got kicked around. Kai barely got any.
Oh, he got slapped around, but no one else really seems to care about Kai. Wait,
Well, I think it's more than just.
I'm sorry, Chris. Breaking news.
Okay, cool.
Kai is still a shit. Okay, thanks for the update.
I think it's more the fact that Kai is just getting tired of fighting. He's not interested in it. He's getting worn down, and it's in his nature to be a coward. And it's just coming. It's just he's feeling all the weight of all these battles, and for the first time ever, he's getting a chance to relax and recuperate, and he's now allowed to question: is this really what I want to do with my life?
Ooh, I've got a new function here. By the way, hello, brightest day. The link's always available for you. But I'm gonna have to try this out real quick. Apparently, I can.
Hey, bro, we miss you here.
Oh, there's something that's on the back end. I like that. I'm just appreciating some StreamYard functions that I didn't know were a thing.
I think there was a massive update or something recently.
I'll have to remember that.
Wow. I mean, this is new.
Mm-hmm. So meanwhile, we pan back over this ruined and destroyed city.
I mean, that's pretty much everything there's on Earth anymore.
Can anyone name what city it is?
I'm guessing there's somewhere around Europe and maybe Germany.
Cold. It is in Europe, but it's not in Germany.
Are we in Italy?
Cold.
Switzerland?
Getting warmer. It's not in Switzerland because Switzerland is a landlocked nation, but still.
Poland.
Cold.
Damn it.
Belfast, Ireland. Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Huh.
Wow. Would have never guessed Ireland. Why was I always thinking about one of the neutral places? Wait, Ireland was neutral, right?
Ireland
World War
is well, yes, Ireland. Well, that's
part of the United Kingdom.
Yes, Northern Ireland, which is where Belfast is a part of the United Kingdom.
But
okay.
Well, enough of the geoglobal politics and maps, because we're busy being told by General Revel where we have to go to on the map now, which would be that the crew of the Byte Base, once they're repaired, is to head for Jaburo, to South America, and to the headquarters of the Federation,
the general headquarters, GHQ.
Thank you.
And his leaving remarks is, "Take good care of those kids."
Oh yes, take care of the children. We don't need to see any more war orphans. They're too busy in space fighting Xeon.
Yeah,
I think that last remark of his was rather quite nice to show that he cares. He's not just some military bigwig who doesn't care about anything. He actually genuinely cares about the people around him.
Yeah, but still, keep them in White Base. I mean, that place is attacked a lot.
Okay, we've gone over this. Children should not be on the White Base. Here's the big breaking news. They're there. They're part of the show. Get over it. Now, can we move on?
Well, also, the thing is, one of the things to kind of bring back General Revel is one of the few like genuinely good people that the white base crew gets to really meet, and it helps that he's someone in this position of power that does seem to be on their side. It isn't there to just fuck them over.
Yes. And some of the reading that I have done, without trying to give away too many spoilers, there are various factions within the Federation higher ups, and General Revel is one of the more moderates and sensible ones. He's compared to other groups within the Federation that would be willing to seek personal glory, power, and be able to screw over anyone that gets in their way.
Oh, so you're saying they'd be perfect Xeon officers?
They're perfect as the counter to Xeon officers. They're basically the ones that Xeon points to justify their bad deeds.
Yeah, because everyone
So the
always
Federation is dirty.
Xeon's dirty too, so
war is dirty.
War is dirty.
So, meanwhile, after our kind words about the orphans, we cut to them spying on Kai, who's decided he's had enough, and changes into his civilian garb to say he's had enough. He's abandoning.
Yeah, he's, like I said, he questions everything that he has been doing for the last couple months. Now he's wondering, is it worth it? Should I continue? I'm going to try and get back to civilian life.
Yep. I mean, unfortunately, it's not the best place to do that, but it's war, and hey, you got to make the best of where you're at.
And it also shows Bright is being more generous than he should be. Technically, Kai should be arrested and should be thrown in the brig and charged with going AWOL, possibly
court-martialed.
I mean, was he that away for too long? I've seen the episode. I don't think he was out for that long, so there couldn't have been much suspicion that he ran off.
Yes, but here's the thing, is that he is leaving right in front of his commanding officer with the intention of leaving permanently, with never coming back.
Desertion.
AWOL. He's going AWOL.
Yeah, but the question is, did Bright say... I mean, he came back, so that does prove a little bit of loyalty.
That doesn't matter. That does not matter at this point in time. That does not. Bright at this moment, right here, right now, knows that Kai is leaving and never coming back. So
yeah, but he came back.
That doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
That does not matter. Not at this point in time, right now, at this point in time in the story.
Oh, sure. I ran in and I stole the pack of cigarettes, but I was going to bring it back. I swear.
Yes. It does not matter that Bright did come back. It is that at this point in time in the story, he is leaving with the intention of never coming back. So at this point in time, Bright should have Kai arrested. He should be tried with going AWOL, with desertion, and he should be thrown in the brig or whatever appropriate punishment for someone who deserted his post of duty, as well as being exposed to top military secrets.
Yeah, I mean they've made it obvious. They've made it clear now that if they were to try and walk away, they should be locked up for a year minimum.
Yes,
and Bright does call him a coward on his way out.
But the thing is that at this point in time, Bright is being generous and saying, okay, go. If you don't feel comfortable with this life, then just go.
Yep. And on his way out, one of the little things I do kind of like is Amuro at least gives him his toolbox, which is kind of set up for a gag later. saying he could always use the tools to become an electrician or trade them for some money.
Honestly, I like this moments. I mean, it shows that Amuro and Kai have, I wouldn't say like each other. I'd say a small level of respect for another, to the point where it's actually a bit friendly.
I mean, yeah, there is some respect and towards each other at this moment in time.
A bit of a companionship that they've been through this ordeal together over these weeks. And he if nothing else, he wants to see him at least have a little bit of comfort, if nothing other than his toolbox. But I mean, also it's kind of a interesting parallel to go into this episode of what is a very Kai centric episode, and having Amuro being the good loyal space boy.
Yeah, it was a weird thing to see Amuro being the loyal one.
Yeah.
Kind of deserve.
Amuro's. Oh, we lost Chris. Amuro's gone through his character arc. He's over that, and now you're kind of seeing that not everyone is on board, and that it isn't just about Amuro.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, then let's go.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, you have Boone and Char on Jaburo.
Seriously, every single episode with him, it's a huge tease. You think he's gonna get into a Gundam and just start blasting everybody off?
Yeah, sorry about that. Little hiccup.
No problem.
Glad to have you back. And look at that, the viewership doubled, actually tripled, just by having you come back.
Yeah, everybody comes up for Char, hoping for him to do something badass, but he does nothing. He's just there, giving orders. Doesn't get into a Gundam, doesn't start blasting.
Well, he's strategizing.
Yeah, but still, just
Char's
something.
a big picture guy. Char. Let's see.
Or give him a backstory episode or something.
Char's talking about how they need to go and get a spy on, that they need to get their spy on board. So you're getting a little further plot of you getting that complication being pushed forward here. Which, comes and goes really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you guys happen to know any spies? I sure don't.
Question.
Oh, hey, Miharu's back.
Yeah.
She is. Yeah, she's back. So this will be interesting.
And if nothing else, here Miharu runs into Kai, who invites him to come stay with her for a day or two. Where we get to learn a little bit about her and her situation. That she's been living in this abandoned house with her younger brother and sister.
I gotta say, I love these moments like these, showing situations like this, moments of war children and the older sibling taking care of the younger ones. These were actual things that happens in moments of wars. It's like this.
Well, I mean, we unfortunately do not know if these are actually war children, if they're a result of being orphaned by war. We just know that they are orphans because of some tragedy of some sorts. So, I mean,
the girl seems very enthusiastic to spy for the Zeon against the Federation, so it's possible that their parents died in the crossfire. I'm just saying.
Because it pays the bills.
That's why she is excited to spy for Zeon. Is that it's money to her.
Not a lot of good bills, seeing where they live and how they live.
Well, I mean, again, this is a this is them taking advantage of the situation that's being presented to them with the war. They're living in an abandoned house that has taped up windows and the dirty air around them.
Yep.
It's not the best situation in life, but this is what this is what they got to do to pay the bills, or what little bills there are in an abandoned house. So Miharu tells the kids to kind of be wary of him and keep an eye on him if he tries anything. And Kai decides to go. Kai, with no supervision while she steps away, takes notice of that little basket of goodies and goes to look inside. And sees that she's been, at the very least, protective of herself. If not suspecting her outright of being a spy.
Well, that's
if you find a gun in a basket, I mean, you'd be a little bit suspected. I mean, it is a dangerous time and it's close to a war zone, so it is best to have a way to defend yourself. But still,
yep. I mean, well, you are living in a port. It is a port town that wasn't it
ravaged by
episode?
war. Yes,
exactly.
It was attacked in the last episode. The city is a bit war torn because it's basically a major port for the Federation. So,
plus, if what you told us was right, this is around Ireland and a lot of crazy drunks.
Let's not try to play with that stereotype. Given some of the reading that I've read about is that at this point in time, the Federation Navy has been heavily destroyed and is greatly underfunded compared to the rest of the Federation military. So a lot of Federation ports have been, and a lot of ships within the Federation Navy have been heavily damaged and have basically the Navy is taken a back seat to the rest of the Federation military.
Hang on real quick. I wanted to say hello to Zakarat, who's jumping into the chat there. How's it going?
Zakarat, cool name, dude.
And I spy the cyber frog in the profile picture. It looks like.
Oh man, I need to get cyber frog.
So let's see. Kind of just getting back into it here. Let's see. Shar requesting. This is where they then get into making the decision to use the spy to sneak on board the white base. With after receiving news that it's intending to be leaving, as well as a potential weakness to exploit that Kai had happened to have passed on. With that, they then go ahead and start plotting out and send out a brand new mobile suit, the GOG.
Zigok.
Oh, was it the Zigok?
Yes, Zigok. GOG is the other one, the previous one.
Oh yeah, you're right. So I'm kind of using some notes here and make some suits up every now and then.
The MSM-04 Zigog.
Zigog. What does that name mean? Zigog. I feel like it has a meaning.
That's probably some like Zeonic ground. It's an engineering name, is what it basically is. You know, it's like, why do they call it a Tiger tank?
Oh, correction. It's actually MSM-07.
Meanwhile, so back with the Federation, the white base is being fixed up, including our Gundam, who's finally getting those new fancy piercings fixed up. from the last session with the GOG. When they get reports of an incoming battle and incoming forces from the Xeon.
So here's a nice little interesting little Easter bit of trivia about the Zigog is that it was inspired by the alien Zerab from Ultraman.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So it looks like this is what inspired the Zigog.
Okay, let's pull that up. Oh, okay,
Wow.
I can see why.
I can see a little bit of it on the sides.
It's also
Seriously,
got that. Yeah,
Hey Chris, you're an Ultraman fan?
I have hardly seen anything from them.
I'd suggest on Netflix there's this new Ultraman anime. It's actually pretty good. I suggest watching.
Oh yeah,
If you
that is
enjoy the old stuff.
That is a pretty solid show. That Netflix one.
I mean, it gets different from the manga, from the new manga, but it's pretty great.
Well, the thing is with that franchise, there's been so many different
No,
series.
this new manga is modern. It's
right.
at the same
What
time
I
as
was
the
saying
show.
was the Ultraman as a franchise has had so many different iterations to it, to so many different Ultraman, and much like the Godzilla stuff, there's different eras.
Yeah. And the thing I love about this one is this is going to be worshipping and giving better light to the old ones too, if they follow a bit of the manga.
That's
gonna
one of
be
the best
great.
things with a show like that is that it can make you it can praise something up and make you want to go back and watch the other stuff. I mean, I've got probably 3 of the box sets. I've been buying those with Milk Week. But that's not. We'll save that for an Ultraman show.
Yeah. One day we're gonna have to build that.
Mm-hmm. So, in the midst of the battle, the Xeon forces decide to send out one of their spies to deliver a message to Miharu.
I don't think he's a spy. I just think he's just a officer who is tasked with finding the spy. But that's besides the point.
He's at the very least he's a courier.
Yeah.
But before that, let's not forget everyone's favorite little
Show!
Nice.
Something's been missing. It's been about a week since I've had a chance to get one of those in. I missed it.
Yeah.
Didn't they? Haven't they changed the middle animation since?
No, not yet. So with that, the battle commences, and we get to see a little bit of the Federation base's defenses. These more classic traditional style armaments, the anti-naval marine rockets, and the Gundam is sent out
with the G fighter.
Mm-hmm. Let me try riding it. Which, if in terms of the armament, it's kind of refreshing to see something familiar and more and like we would expect to see today.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the bridge between modern and futuristic. So some technologies you just can't get rid of.
And these are not. Well, these don't even have to be computer guided.
Radar guided.
Right. So while all the battles are going on, Kai was napping and eventually wakes up.
Finds that the girl is missing. Miharu is missing.
So Miharu heads out on her little bike, and she winds up encountering our courier from before, who passes along her payment for her work so far, the information about the white base and its headings.
Part of her payment, because if she can deliver them the rest of the payment, or the more information about where the white base is heading,
Oh, right.
she gets more money.
Yep. And is tasked with smuggling herself on board to go in and undercover to gather any information. So meanwhile, the battle continues, and we get to see that the fighter the G fighter has nose
Additional
missiles.
armaments.
Yep, which is kind of a silly thing that should break up aerodynamics, but hey, it's super
Anime.
robots.
It's anime.
Exactly. If it looks like it can hide rockets and weapons, it probably does.
That's why I said in previous episodes that we've done that I like the redesigned G fighter, because they kind of correct some of those odd functions.
Miharu, with her new job in mind, has to tell her two younger siblings that she's going to be going away for a while, and leaves them with the money and tells them to
Not a great idea.
take care. Which, all right. So, what do you guys with? I guess I really should be asking Fenrir, since this is the most fresh for him. What do you think of Miharu as a character?
Well, I can see her reasons to wanting to assist the Xeon. To take care of her little siblings. Her backstory is tragic, obviously, because of look at how she lives, and she truly cares for her siblings, obviously to a great point. But I believe that I believe her more to be the kind of. I was kind of hoping for more to see her more as a femme fatale kind of thing. No, I can see her as a good person, and that is why I don't think she's going to live long.
Well, I think it's a bit kind of presumptuous to assume the whole, this should be a femme fatale, when no, I think this is probably the better way to go. This is just a ordinary girl who's trying to make sure her younger siblings survive.
I was explaining with Kai because the guy seemed to be a little antsy. Yeah, but out of everything, her relationship with her siblings looked sweet, except for this part where she literally abandons them alone in the middle of nowhere in a house with money. Not a good move.
Well, it seems to me that she has taught them enough that they can take care of themselves while she is away for a period of time.
Yep, and this is what she does to get money for food.
And in fact, actually, if you think that abandoning young children like this is a bad thing to do, remember that an entire generation of American children lived like this back in the 70s,
Great Depression.
80s. No,
No,
back
this
in
is
the 70s and 80s.
the children
Oh.
of baby boomers.
Yeah.
Oh.
While the baby boomers, while both parents of the baby boomer generation went in to become members of the workforce, they let their children take care of themselves and basically raise themselves. That's why that entire generation is basically kind of self-sufficient. They do everything on their own. They don't.
All right. Okay.
So, meanwhile, the Zagak is emerging from the water. We get to finally see our first images of it standing proper, and begins to battle with Hayato in the gun cannon. Which, sadly, fortunately for the Zegok, and unfortunately for Hayato, is making short work of him.
Well, I mean, thankfully for Hayato, the gun cannon's thicker armor at least lets it to survive most of the battle.
And also at the same time, we cut back to Kai, who's feeling guilt for watching this all going down. He's watching from a distance and is arguing with himself. He's like, I can't believe I still feel bad for this. Meanwhile, he's having flashbacks of all the times he was slapped around and smacked, and is arguing with himself, contemplating with himself. It's a brief. He admits to himself being a coward, but I think it's a good moment for his character.
Yes, even though at the beginning of the episode he may have questioned his position as being a member of the military. At this point in time, he is changing his mind. He's realizing that he needs to be aboard the White Base. He needs to be with his family, in a sense. The White Base is a family, and he is basically kind of the black sheep of the family. Even though he doesn't want to be there, he's still there. He still feels that attachment.
If nothing else, I'm glad that Hayato doesn't have an arc like this.
He sort of does later on in the show. There is it's a small little thing, but there's still something that transpires with him where he expresses doubts, and we basically get a little bit of a character development for him later on in the show. It's a small thing, but it basically it further develops him, especially when we go on into the sequel series like Zeta Gundam and Double Zeta Gundam.
Yep. Oh yeah, he has a lot more screen time and character development in those.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we cut back to the exciting battle as one of the Gogs is shot down, and
this time the previous episode.
Kai, meanwhile, is arguing with himself, and he's finally realizing where he has to be. Says, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Where he belongs.
Commandeers a motorcycle, and for a moment, is a badass.
Yeah,
going straight through a war zone with a motorcycle, ready to save his people. That's a badass move.
It's almost like something out of The Great Escape.
Yeah.
This time it's the Great Break-In.
He's like jumping in front of explosions and running along. Meanwhile,
and it just shows how valuable each member of the White Base crew is important. Even Kai.
Mm-hmm. Even Kai, who's still a shit.
True.
The gun cannon, meanwhile, is not faring too well. It's having its arms practically torn apart here.
Yeah, the Zegok is probably a little more powerful than the gun cannon, which technically this gun cannon is still considered a prototype compared to future gun cannons that we'll see.
They meanwhile eliminate that, and I believe Kai manages to get the gun tank back.
Yeah.
Just hopping straight in and helping to save the day. Oh, we also get this kind of goofy side shot.
Yeah, I will say that there are some shots that it looks like he kind of skipped over.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things that happens. Meanwhile, Miharu was given a Federation uniform and is beginning to do her spy job. And during all the battle, is able to easily slip into the white base. The pilot of the Zegok, meanwhile, was thinking all along that the gun cannon he was fighting had been the Gundam, only to now discover that he's now truly facing the White Devil. And I think is one of the best shots of the episode.
Oh yeah.
Where we get that nice clean crisp cut right through it, and Amuro snapped into it like a Slim Jim,
Bisecting it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, Kai says, "Sorry, but your toolbox is crud."
Mm-hmm. And Amuro has kind of a this is that payoff I was mentioning earlier, where Amuro's kind of looking down his belief. What? But I spent so much on it. Which is kind of fun to see that despite all of it, Amuro can still be a bit of a kid, because it came off as a bit of a childish naivety, buying into what Kai was saying.
Oh, so he's kind of a little shocked. It's like, wait a minute, what? But I spent money. I spent a lot of money on this.
Which, I mean, part of that comes across with the way he's drawn, where his eyes here seem to be a lot bigger and wider to give off that youth.
Given also that Amuro is a couple of years young, is like a year or two younger than Kai.
Meanwhile, Char's been informed that our spy has managed to sneak on board. And so the white base leaves with spy in tow.
Mm-hmm.
Heading off across the Atlantic Ocean. And so the episode ends.
To a magical land where everything goes.
Well, out across
South
the
America.
Atlantic Ocean. In one of the
South America.
in one of the mangas that I've read, that is an alternate version of what happened here. Kai doesn't take the gun tank into battle. He takes a loner mobile suit, which is the gun tank 2. Which I'm sharing a picture of it.
Oh.
So that's the gun tank 2.
That is a lot. That is like some battle tech looking back right there. I love the ridiculous amount of guns on it.
Yes. Because basically by the time the gun tank 2 is developed, the Federation decides to play up more on it being a tank than a mobile suit. They kind of changed gears with the gun tank.
And so that ends our episode.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
Episode.
Yeah, I give it about an 8.4.
Not one of my favorites. Definitely could have been better. It's also this one, and also the last episode, and also this episode in the movie were condensed, and I can see why, because there's a lot of filler information and a lot of nonsensical events that were condensed. So basically they made the battle into one battle instead of 2 separate battles.
Okay, I can see doing that to sort of condense things, but I mean, with this pacing, it's sort of intended to have one episode to introduce each of those brand new model kits.
Oh, definitely.
Which is very much in that sort of toy selling mindset. Like, oh, here's the new Transformer for this week's episode that you can go out and buy.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's not a bad episode. It dragged mostly, in my opinion, through most of the episode and doesn't pick up until like the last half. I'll give it a.
I think we're leaning towards 6.
6.5. Because I still enjoyed at least the battle parts, but whenever we went from the battle and then cut back to Kai or Miaru's incidents, it's just kind of like, okay, can we get back to the battle, please? Please, can we get back to the battle?
So I'm kind of leaning more with Fenrir on this one. This is I think an underrated arc that is kind of is something that is pretty memorable, that has always kind of stuck with me after having gone through it the series a couple of times. To see this as a civilian just trying to survive in the battle in the middle of war, that she might have to go and do some less than stellar things to survive.
I can see that, and I understand it, but like I said, it's some parts it felt like it dragged a bit too much. I think they could have definitely written it differently.
Yeah, maybe. I like seeing more of the white base crew that isn't just Amuro getting all the spotlight, even if it's Kai.
Yeah,
I think Kai gets, even though he's a bit of a coward, I think he gets too much of a hate rap.
Yeah, but it's also really easy to hate him. But Fenrir, I gotta ask, which would you say is more hateable, Kai or Garma?
You know, that's a hard one. Oh God, we got between the wall and the knife here. I'm going with Garma.
Wow.
I had to give you one of those.
I have to go with
I think it's a 7. I think it's a pretty good episode. And this is one of the, I think, better arcs. I certainly like this better than the stuff with Makuve, because it does feel more human.
Yeah.
And also, I'm still convinced that Makuve's eyes blink sideways, like a lizard's.
Well, I mean, he is a spineless, slimy scumball.
And apparently, we have a new guest coming in, Emo Peter.
Interesting.
Hi.
Hi,
Can you
Emo
hear
Peter.
me? Hi. I'm depressed. Norway is stupid.
Oh, yeah, I heard about the...
Yeah. So I became emo again.
Wait,
So
what's going on in Norway?
they delayed the movie I was in. I was gonna fight some old bad guys again. But unfortunately, they delayed our movie, so the Norwegians won't see
sorry
it.
to hear about that.
Aren't you guys also going back into lockdown?
Well, I'm emo Peter. I don't know where Jace is.
Okay, Peter. Okay. So tell me, I'd like to know, what's the difference between I always wanted to get a good answer about this. What's the difference between an emo person and a goth?
Emos use more colors than black.
Emos are a little bit of posers, to be honest. I never consider myself like let's just turn this off, and then we just kind of there we go. No, I've never considered normally myself as an emo. When I was kind of quote unquote emo, that was basically just what people called me. But Emo is just like they just basically stole the styles from goth and punk and some other pop music and just mashed up into a style. So for me, they've always been like posters in a way. If it makes sense.
Yes.
So,
Following the logic of South Park, it does.
wanted to kind of get your thoughts, Jace, since we're wrapping up here. What did you get a chance to watch the episode?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh man.
I unfortunately I fell asleep today because I have been really tired lately.
I can see why. The whole world is just sometimes you just want to go to bed and not wake up.
Yeah. So I've been listening, and I it doesn't sound like the most interesting episode. I'll watch the next episode, but
I mean, it was a bit of a character building, and we got to see Kai being a little badass for a change,
yeah.
which is so weird to say. In fact, here I gotta do
Yeah.
something to kind of wash that out of the mouth.
Yes, Daddy.
What the hell was that?
What was what?
There was this weird voice that came after the video. Was it just me? I went
that
crazy?
Was, that was Jace.
I don't know what you're talking about. You see, no sound.
God, am I going insane?
Yes.
I'm too young for
Yes.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. But all right, I think this is a wrap then.
that. Yes, it is, boys. All right.
Yep.
I need to
Sad
go get a
life.
turkey for Christmas.
Sad life.
Fenrir, you got it. We'll kind of go do a little bit of a quick wrap up here. Fenrir.
Okay,
Tell us
ladies and
about
gentlemen, you all know me. I'm Fenrir the Ice Wolf. I work on a YouTube channel. I'm trying to attempt to get to the 200s without doing anything. If I get to 200s, I will do something. I will do something. I don't know what. I will do it. Just get me to 200 and maybe 300 or whatever. You know me. I normally walk around here with these guys, or with whoever. They're a bunch of crazy fun bastards. So if you don't know them, you will love them. They are insane and they are fun.
All I
that-
ask is that you
you
keep
know
your
everything
clothes
about
on this time.
Wait. You see, every time.
Chris.
I am Chris, and you will find me over at 540 Studios with Jace, my partner in crime, and we both host the Beyond show on Thursdays, and we're working on a series of other shows that will hopefully be coming out soon. And you'll also find me here.
Of course, we gotta have you here to give the to help me with the specifics.
Someone has to.
Yep, you got all the technical readouts.
I did get a new tactical manual.
Ooh, you'll have to. We'll have to get some photos for that. Maybe we can show off a little bit of that next week.
The Char's counterattack tactical manual. I sent you a picture of it. Yeah.
Okay, maybe just maybe we won't get into that next week. We don't want to give away too much. Mr. Emo Peter.
Well, you can find me on, of course, 540 Studio with my other host, of course, with Chris. I'm still sorry that I didn't get to watch the episode today. The days have been so effed up lately. But yeah, you can find me also here, and you can also find my Pop Culture Minefield. And on Monday, I think it's Monday or Saturday. No, Monday. It was Monday. We are gonna have the Memnock interview on T-Shirt Historian's channel.
Oh, you
and
actually
you
have
can also
that planned now?
Yeah, we have made it planned out. Just need to find a time. And you probably will see me more on Mead. So I'm really excited about that.
Which, by the way, congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. It was really fun being there. I'm just gonna stop that video now. No, it was really fun. No, and like Chris said, we have a lot of plans, a lot of things that we are working on, and they will probably come out soon. And other than that, just remember life's too short, make the most of it. And if it wasn't for the people in the chat and the people there, thank you for all the support and everything you guys do for us. And if it wasn't for all of you, we would not be in here today. So we all thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And some love with some dancing. Buy a
give me a little
suit
more
and
dancing.
dance.
All right.
Yes, Daddy. Yes, I'm gay.
Well, of course, this is my channel. I'm Ironcaster. I'll talk about some big robots now and then.
And some big dicks.
And his back hair.
What do I put?
He's
what do
gonna
I
buy
put
some
on
crop
this?
tops.
And he also needs
Fender,
to get
you wanna throw something in?
more stuff for his Jason.
Sorry, dude.
Momoa.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm gonna let you talk.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh no! We're laying it on. What have you got for me? Apparently, crop tops and a Jason Momoa shrine.
And back hair.
What? No. I was talking about how he pretty much plays the same person over and over again.
I don't know what you're talking about. But, all right. Anyway.
Okay, what the hell are we talking about? I'm kind of confused here.
I don't even know. You can out Thursday. Hopefully, we'll be doing the Global Geek Gang. Waiting to hear from Clobbering Times on that. Friday should be Friday Night Comic Shop Talk over on Nick Weiser's, and Saturday the Week in Geek.
No, I think this week we got it for free, dude. I think this week we're for free.
Oh yeah, I think with the holidays coming up is.
Yeah.
Well, those are places I can normally be found. The links to these guys' channels are down below in the description. And one last bit of breaking news. Okay. Kai might be badass, but he's still a shit.
Eh.
By the way, look at me. Hi, darling.
Wait, what? I had to.
Hey, Ironcaster.
Oh.
How are you feeling?